بهار دلکش رسید و دل به جا نباشد.
Zahra Bani Amirian loved singing. You won't have heard this voice before, though, or her story, or that of her husbands Bijan, or their sons Daniel and Davoud. The regime in Iran wants to make sure it stays that way. They don't want obituaries like this one and thousands of others to be broadcast.
Very happy, cheerful family who thrive. They were life-loving individuals.
The regime shut down the internet and, in the case of this family, imposed conditions on their funeral so that their deaths would go unnoticed.
No family funeral. They were robbed from their human dignity.
So why go to such lengths to cover up their deaths? On Friday night, the family were sitting in their car during anti-regime protests here in the city of Cherished, west of Tehran. A demonstrator at one point tried to take out the CCTV camera. Zahra worked in insurance, Bijan was a teacher. Along with their sons, supported the demos but weren't marching that night. According to Zahra's cousin Michael, who lives abroad, they were just sitting in their car observing.
And they were going about their routine business, and probably they were going home, and they were thinking that they are safe in the car.
At some point during the demonstrations, a municipal building was set alight. Security forces tried to put down the protest with live fire, lots of it. Michael tells us that the family's car was targeted.
When the bullet came, they sprayed hundreds of rounds of bullets so that it's like intentionally they wanted to make sure that everyone in that car is dead. And in that car, there were no terrorists. They were just innocent civilians, defenseless.
Zahra, Bijan and 19-year-old Daniel were all killed. Davoud, who was 27, survived and was brought to hospital.
They were killed, then they were treated like non-human, like objects, because their bodies were left on morgue, Karizak morgue, these three, and the wounded body of the brother was taken to hospital under security forces.
Then, according to Michael, authorities wouldn't allow Davoud to be discharged unless the family agreed to these conditions around the funerals.
They only allowed the family to take Davoud with them under the condition that the bodies are buried at dawn under security forces in a small town that they are from, but under security, with no family funeral, no farewell of the family or friends.
Estimates of the numbers killed in Iran over the weekend range from the thousands to the tens of thousands. The memories are precise, though. Michael was particularly close to his cousin Zahra.
She just retired last year, and she was thinking about starting a hobby. I'm sorry. I have a voice. She had this lisp that made her really cute. I liked her for that, and jokingly I said, "Why don't you go and start singing?" And she sent me a short sound of her singing Persian.
از آنکه دل بردمی به فکر ما نباشد.
She told me right after, I have, please, Mohsen, just delete it. I said, no, your voice is beautiful, and I'm gonna keep this. And that's probably one of the best decisions, because I kept her voice singing, and it was silenced by the barbaric, brutal regime, and its beautiful voice.
بهار دلکش رسید و دل به جا نباشد.
Paraic O'Brien reporting there. Now, Donald Trump has dialed down his aggressive talk of military intervention in Iran, saying he had been given assurances that the executions of anti-government demonstrators there had been halted. Well, let's hear now from our US editor, Anushka Astana. Anushka.
So we have heard from the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, in the last hour. She said that the president had communicated with the Iranian regime. She said if the killing continues, there will be grave consequences. But she confirmed that he had been told that the killings had been halted. She said that the president's understanding is that there were 800 executions scheduled for yesterday that had been halted. Now, could there be a reason the president wants to stand back from the brink? We know he values his Arab allies in the region, and countries like Qatar, like Saudi Arabia, are urging him not to strike. They fear a wider regional escalation. It has been reported this afternoon that Israel has also urged him not to strike because of a fear of retaliation. Leavitt was asked about that. She confirmed that Trump had spoken to Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday. She didn't say what the content of that conversation was, but she certainly didn't deny those reports. And look, there is a suggestion that this could still go ahead, that there could be a strike. She said all options are on the table. And look, last June, she was talking about negotiations when the president had apparently already made up his mind to strike. Today, a senior senator, Lindsey Graham, who has been close to the president, said he wants America to strike and large scale.